Hey there. Today I'd like to talk about something really mysterious. It's a circumstance whereby a student has genuinely found their calling. It's a path of self-development and inner awakening, which for them feels like home. They've found that teacher or that tradition or even that sacred book, which for them is a light through the darkness. This is what they're going to do with their life. And this is what is their genuine calling. But having made this dedication, there are strange barriers that have appeared to prevent them moving forwards. These self-sabotaging techniques are normally actually invisible to that student, but when pointed out, are remarkably peculiar and obvious. In this video, I'm going to list some of the most common of these and perhaps hint at what might be the cause of the resistance or the prevention that's going on. But must reassure everyone watching this that actually fully engaging and undertaking the path will reveal the truth and make the invisible come to view. So, the first of these strange barriers which prevent the practitioner from walking the path with ease could be classified as failure to engage with the teachings. Now, this might sound just like someone not being as fastidious or as dedicated as you would hope, but it's actually something very different. So, for example, many people watching this video will be practitioners of the Franz Barden system of Hermetic practice. They will have chosen this book, and indeed the books that follow it, as their journey, as their authority, as the truth for their training. Now, if we look at this decision, it's a very beautiful and clear one. There are many different training methods. There are many different teachers you could learn from. There are so many books with guides and signposts for how your journey should unfold. But they have chosen this. In their incarnation, this is what they're going to do. So it's a very mysterious circumstance when you discover that often this practitioner who is genuine has not read the whole book. You would think that if you found someone that you trusted, a source of information that could tell you how to practice correctly, how to develop your full potential, how to see and control these hidden forces, you would read everything that they'd written. You would think that if you were going on a journey which you were dedicating your whole life to, you would want to see the whole map so you can prepare, so that your higher self, your subconscious, the whole of you can get ready and know what's coming. Likewise, you want to know that the journey is going where you think it is. This mysterious barrier you can also see often with the teacher. I've seen people travel across the globe and sit next to a great, genuine master, having searched all their life and done a lot to get access, and it's like they just can't hear what they're being taught. They're distracted by trivialities, by their own things, by other people. It's the same as not reading the book. This barrier may be to do with trust. It could be that you are not ready to be guided by someone else. And maybe people in the past who have been in teaching roles, or maybe authority hasn't been a very virtuous and good influence for you. Through examination of this and through actually undertaking the task, you'll find the truth, and this barrier will disappear. Another very common occurrence is when the practitioner, who is very competent in all other areas of life when it comes to time management, does not put any time aside for their practice. If they were doing a DIY project, they'd plan it out and work out the hours and the budget, and they'd put time aside, weekends aside. If they were at work, they'd put project time aside. They'd even book in their diary if they were meeting with someone else for a cup of coffee. But in this case, there's no space for their practice. In these circumstances, there are different reasons why this mysterious barrier has appeared, where the most important thing for you, which is your development, so you can have the best possible influence on the world, is the thing that's not getting any time. In these circumstances, it could be that you're valuing others' needs above your own, and the whole concept of having some time for you, to sort you and to develop you, isn't something you're ready for yet, and you need to explore that and book that time to discover why. One other interesting occurrence we have is when the person, they don't let themselves actually enjoy the practice. So this is a very common occurrence, and one of the signs of it is how excited the person talks over it. This strange dichotomy whereby what the person wants to be doing is their meditation, is their ritual practice, is being in nature and tuning in to the forces there, or the animals that are there to teach them, when this is actually the most exciting thing for them possible in life. But during that time, when they could be doing it, they're watching television, or they're out partying, they're doing something else. This is a very strange circumstance. We could imagine that how it should be, you'd expect it to be, is that not only do they love practicing in their spare time, but if they have extra time, if someone goes away for the weekend and they've got the house themselves, it's a whole weekend of their practice. It's a joyous thing. It's not a hard discipline. It's an exciting passion of theirs. We can see this in mundane hobbies where people really do put all their effort into crafts or into adventures or research. Why is this not happening there? In this case, it may be that there's a bit of confidence, that maybe you're not quite sure that you're going to be able to do this, and you could be protecting yourself from failure from this. In those circumstances, it may be possible to flip this and get used to enjoying trying things and knowing that they're not going to develop instantly. It's going to be like learning a musical instrument or a new language. You build them up, and a lot of the joy is in the trying and slowly improving. Make sure that you take joy and view this as an exciting hobby, and dedicate yourself to opening your heart to that attitude, and you may find there's a lot of extra energy and enthusiasm released. Be quiet over your practice to all others so that this is contained and focused for doing, not talking. This invisible barrier is a little bit connected to and close to the next, which is when the person changes the exercises. So they have chosen the authority, they've got the guru, they've got the teacher, they know this, they see this as the guidance. They've signed up to it. And by signing up, they are saying that they are wanting to learn. But soon as the practice starts, there is peculiar subversion. And it can go from one to another. Sometimes exercises are too hard, so they need to be made easier. Sometimes they're too easy, so I can't be bothered to practice them. The practitioner needs to choose the discipline of being exact. Because this movement of the borderlines for practice is also a self-protective mechanism. That means that instead of rising yourself up to meet the challenge, instead of working up so that you can perform that concentration or you can gain that ability, you're trying to lower the measurement to you, or you're trying to change the way you're looking at it to make it already there. This may also come down to a concern that you're not quite going to be able to do this and may be worth exploring. Say to yourself, I will perform the exercises exactly as the book, my teacher, the tradition says, like a musician learning the notes. And then, once I've learnt the notes, once I can perform it the way it is prescribed, then I will adapt things. If you are beyond these exercises, that will be a triviality and easy to do. If you are yet to gain those abilities, this is exactly what you need. The next barrier is an interesting one, which occurs normally at the beginning of the path, which is when you're making excuses not to do your practice rather than finding ways to do it. This could be to do with situations in the past when perhaps when you did things which were outside your skill set, the feedback wasn't very good. But if you find yourself saying, I'm too tired to meditate tonight, or I'm traveling so I can't meditate, or I can't do my practice because I've got guests around, then you may want to look at how a practitioner who was focused on finding ways to do this would view those circumstances. Tonight it's special training. I'm going to be able to perform this even though I'm tired. Monks do that on retreat. Alchemists do it at the laboratory. Tiredness today is the extra weight I'm lifting. I'm traveling. This is wonderful. I'm going to be sitting still on this plane for hours. Just think of the inner practice I can do. There's a prayer room at the airport. The people are over here. I will make my excuses for half an hour and go into the natural environment to practice. I will pre-manage this so that I practice at the right time before such eventuality. Look to make reasons to practice and embrace that as part of your training, and know that every time you do manage to do your practice, your inner elements are balancing. You are mastering yourself. This self-mastery is coming from the actual ability to apply yourself to the exercises as much as from the exercises themselves. Another invisible barrier, but a significant one, is when a student with very good judgment finds themselves repeatedly overloading themselves with many different things. They're following a course in yoga, which is so dedicated that most people can't keep to it. And then they'll join an order which is teaching a different technique, and it's so dedicated that most people couldn't keep to that. And then they'll take up a very big hobby. So you've got three things that few people have the space, time, organization, or energy to do, and they're trying to do all three. If they were in their professional life, they wouldn't assign employees or colleagues something too much like this. If it was their children, they most certainly wouldn't do this to them. In this case, what's happening is the practitioner is looking for something new and exciting rather than wanting to engage with the test that comes with the genuine engagement of an exercise for quite some time. So thus, moving from one thing to another, they never move deep enough into practice to have to be challenged by the hard exercises. This can be particularly common in people who are good at strategizing and very much in the mind, and it's understandable that this could be caused by a confusion between knowledge and ability. We could spend our whole life studying running, the different clothing, the different gaits, the way you put your feet down, the shoes you wear, the tracks. But actually running itself is the only thing we will gain speed from. Once you've dedicated yourself to a path you know is going to work and has resonance, be reductionists. Let go. Make sure that your training routine is light enough that you can perform it at the hardest times in your life rather than just in the easiest. And if you're looking for new and exciting things, search for them within yourself, within the exercise, and within your progress. These are the most common invisible barriers that I've seen people come up and face. And though I've suggested certain causes for them, they do vary in their origin and nature. Look out for them in yourself and in those you train with. It may be that great achievement and potential is there just waiting for you if you can walk around one of these or reveal them and remove them. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this video was of great use to anyone who really wants to develop along a specific path they know is right for them and will work, but finds themselves held back and they don't know why. Until next time, let's make every word, thought, and action count.